This is Sims, and we are back with more Cafe Enchante, and we are still in Chapter 5. I mean, I feel like we're at the beginning. I don't even think we're in the middle. We've only done one choice out of the 3 that we have. I thought this was going to be a short chapter. It seems longer than some other ones. But I don't know. I'm wondering if because, like, we went to the fairy world, and then, like, we have this is more, like, centering around the GPM kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, we went to the fairy world, and we kind of met, like, some of, like, Canis's people. Venia, whatever. Titania, and, like, all of that. And now we're, like, dealing with, like, the GPM characters, you know, meeting Mikado and stuff like that. So, I'm wondering if this counts as, like, that, and then maybe we, you know, in Chapter 6... Well, yes, 6, 7, and 8, and then we've got our 3 other worlds. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense if we go into each other world. Maybe. I just can't imagine we only go into the fairy world, but anyway. This dark night dimmed even the moon. The only light came from lanterns on the street. The sun had long left the sky, and the moon had taken its place. Oh, Karia Abe wandered listlessly through the dark streets like a ghost. What the hell? The hell is all this? Fairies and alternate worlds. All this fantasy stuff. No one could believe that. Who could believe it? But no matter how much he denied it, his body had experienced it. That horrendous feeling of his consciousness and life melting away. Hold on. Try just to clear my throat. Very phlegmy. Anyway. The fairy world, Medio. And how for a moment he was freed from it all after breathing the air from that place. Damn it! Grasping onto a tree by the road in hopes of calming his anger down, a cold air fell over his grip and the trunk began to frost over. I did it again. Seeing how much of a human he clearly wasn't, Karia jerked his hand away. No, it's not true! I am human! I was freed from that hell! Mom and Dad accepted me as their child, as a human, Karia Abe. However, if it were all true, at this rate, he would die before his own parents. I don't want to die, but I don't want to let go of my family. Why? Why can't I have both? What am I supposed to do? The more he cried, the more the area around him turned into a world covered with ice from his freezing breath. Bird, what are you doing? After realizing Karia had disappeared from the GPM headquarters, we all split up and went around searching for him. And here's the thing. Good job, Akira, dumbass. Fucking Mikado. Being an asshole. Ha! We gave him time to cover as he ran out. You let him escape, and we could have gone to help him, and now if he dies, it's your fault because we could have gotten to him sooner. You know what I mean? Mikado and the other GPM staff searched inside of the headquarters building. Miser contacted Il, and both began to search using their powers. Canis and Ignis went into Shinjuku. And on a hunch, Mr. Rindo and I came back to this town. This town. They don't tell you what town, it's just this one. They were just like, you know, something. Not Shinjuku. Ever. He was worried the most about his family, so I thought he'd be around his home, but maybe I was wrong. Stop, Bird! What? Stop fucking shrieking! It's driving me bonkers. Can you, like, play nicely instead of, like, just making that god-awful screaming noise? Oh, you can't hear it because it's quiet, but it's just, like, so grating. It's, hey, 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 hey. Shut up, God. I love you, but play nice. Still, I can't think of anywhere else Karia would be. Hello? Oh, good, you picked up. Rindo, Spacey, where are you right now? Can you give me your location? Yeah. Il's voice was as calm as ever. I immediately turned the phone to speaker mode so Mr. Rindo could hear him as well. I then sent him our GPS location. And then... you're in a very convenient spot. Just earlier I had searched the area around Enchante. and nearby where Rindo ran into Karia, I noticed a strange decrease in temperature. A decrease in temperature? Could that be... Karia, not only was the warehouse affected, but it altered the surrounding area as well. Yes, I assume that. His fairy powers are out of control. That being said, I can get to him right away and bring him in. There's no need to worry now. Mr. Rindo crosses his arms and thinks over Ill's suggestion. His voice changed a little, as it seemed he had come to make a decision. No, Ill. You contact Miser and keep watch from the air until you get further directions. If possible, it'd be a lot of help if you could stop it from spreading using some kind of barrier or something. You're gonna face him. Why is that? It's most certainly safer for me to go. You're only a human. Okay, this is how I see it. He's still human too. Half of him is, anyway. He still hasn't given up on being human. So as an adult human, I want to be there to guide him. Aw, he is such a dad. Mr. Rindo, as he spoke quietly, please, be careful. If something happens to you, like when you met Karia the first time... Thanks for worrying about me, but I'll be fine. I've been through a lot worse in the past. A lot worse in the past, huh, really? Yeah. It was a really hard call, but in the end, I nodded to Mr. Rindo in agreement with his idea. Ill, if something happens, I'm going to ask you and everyone for help. For right now, I hope you can get behind Mr. Rindo and his point of view. Well, I suppose that would be just fine. Ill shall contact... It's like, I shall contact Miser and the others about this so they know. Actually, I think it's double I. They double typed it. Yeah. After hanging up, I looked at Mr. Rindo. Mr. Rindo, let's go! Yep. It's time to go give that little punk a lecture about staying out too late. He's like, I'm so gonna die! The weather was quick to change and raindrops began to fall from the sky. Mr. Rindo and I ran through the rain and quickly reached the old abandoned factory. And there we found him. It wasn't a feeling. It was real. A terrifyingly cold chill ran across my skin. As if protected by the white, freezing air that hung over the warehouse. This child froze everything around him with each breath he took. Karia? I could see it in his eyes. The composure I had seen yesterday was no longer there. Thinking about fairies, what he should believe in, being afraid of his past. I'm sure he was blind to any of those thoughts right now. Even before we had met him, I'm sure he was already growing unstable. He must have been reaching his limit. It's because he was mentally exhausted that all of this has happened? Perhaps. And changing your life around like this isn't something a boy his age usually deals with. Determined, Mr. Rindo softly continued. But no matter how much he refuses, he's gonna have to first accept the challenge. He's gonna have to take that first step. If he doesn't, this all ends here. Beyond that, it's too sad to think about. So, that's why I have to talk to him, as a fellow human being. And as someone who's older, me being a person with his own regrets and failures. Mr. Rindo... Spacey, you wait here. He doesn't seem to be on the offensive, so you'll be fine if you don't approach him. Mr. Rindo continued, his breath white from the cold as he smiled. After we're all done with the show here, I'd like to ask you to pour him a nice cup of coffee. Of course, Enchante is always there to treat its guests to a delicious coffee and a nice place to rest. Well said. Wouldn't expect less from Enchante's owner. Smiling, even though he was worried about me, Mr. Rindo turned toward Karia. Now then. Oh, hi! Took his knife out. Ooh, it's got something written on it, too. In this intense cold, he took off a layer under which he was hiding something. He held up a weapon, and then... There we go. He threw it to the ground without hesitation. Huh? Surprised at this action, Karia's eyes were obviously shocked. I mean, he didn't know you were wearing it. Probably shouldn't have whipped it out. I scared you last time. I'm apologizing for that. But also, no one needs a weapon just to talk. The gun belt on him doesn't... Whatever, it's fine. The hidden knife you had. Like, I can see your gun still. Mr. Rindo walks forward. He advanced toward Karya, defenseless, as ice kept spreading everywhere. Not defenseless. We know, we can see he's... Okay. Don't come any closer! Ice flies by and grazes Mr. Rindo's face. But he doesn't try and dodge them. He just continues walking straight, directly toward Karya, but it was eventually too much. Ugh. Coughing, he fell to his knees, and as he was about to lose consciousness... Mr. Rindo! I called to him without thinking. He woke. Oh, that was close. You know that cliche about dying if you fall asleep in the cold? That was about to be me. Under biting frost, he forces his frozen face into a smile. That was actually nice. I can hear her voice just fine even here. I'm awake now thanks to that. Well, we have to... Oh, are we going to have a touching moment with him too, now in the cold? Mr. Rindo finally reached Karya and stood there right before his eyes. Although he did nothing but stand there, staring right into Karya's face. Unable to withstand the pressure... It was Karya. Blasting white frost everywhere, fresh blood splatters the surroundings. The arm Karya put up to protect himself went limp. Oh, we're gonna get a pretty CG. Mr. Rindo! Mr. Rindo grunted with sharp blades of ice thrusted into his body. Did you just... Like, this is not exactly what I expected in the CG. The blood spilling from him left swirling marks on the ice. I'm sure you've never gone this far, right? No, I wasn't... After Mr. Rindo struggled to speak, Karya crouches down on impulse. Trying to shake off the reality of the situation, he began to shake his head too. Karya Abe! I can imagine Junichi Suabe screaming that. It's amazing. But his shout echoed through the building. Don't run. Look at me. This is one part of your fate. Worse could happen if you don't think about your future. Look what your power can do. Your life being in danger, or where you have to live, none of that matters right now. Take a look at yourself and who you are. If you don't, you'll just keep repeating this pattern. Next time to someone important to you. Karya gulped down in shock. This is me. Mom and Dad, I'm someone who can hurt them. Oh, poor kid. Yeah, that's true. If you keep running like this, something bad could happen before you realize it. There would be nothing you can do to them. Nothing you can do then, sorry. You love your parents, right? And they know about your powers and they still accept you anyway, right? Then, all it takes is a little faith. Faith that their son, the one they love, won't change no matter what. Tears streamed from Karya's eyes. No. The drops hit the ground silently. I'm sorry. All the ice around us started to break apart. At the same time, the shards of ice that pierced Mr. Rindo broke apart as well. His body fell to the ground. Yeah, but that's not going to heal the holes in him. Mr. Rindo! I ran over to him and held him up, but that didn't change the fact that he had serious injuries. This is my fault. Karya knelt beside me and looked like there was still a terror lingering within him. Then, with his face all twisted, clearly showing the severity of his injuries, Mr. Rindo forces himself to smile. You don't have to cry. You can think about this later. But right now, you used a lot of your power again. We need to get you to Medio. Fast. I can't... I'm at my limit. Sorry, Spacey. I'm gonna leave this up to you. Huh? Hey! Mr. Rindo? Right as Mr. Rindo had completely lost consciousness, Well, although he's usually so carefree, I guess Rindo can be stubborn too, huh? He cares about the kid a lot. Sure he wanted to handle it on his own. Miser, Ignis, what do I do? Mr. Rindo, he... Oh yeah, don't worry. We'll save him. And let's get to Enchante right away. Il and Canis can take care of any injuries. Well, it might be better for Rindo to go to a human hospital, but it'll suck if someone asks how he got hurt. Is he gonna be okay? Is he not gonna die? Stop looking so worried, kid. If he died from this, he wouldn't be able to come bug us at Enchante anymore. I love how Ignis expresses his love for everyone. Like, God, if I bitch about your grandpa, he's just gonna come back and like haunt me. Totally want that because I miss him. He's like, stupid Rindo. God, he's not gonna fucking die because then he can't bug me anymore. Like, he's so cute. Ignis effortlessly lifts up Mr. Rindo's body, and we hurried back to the cafe. Lift it up, sorry. Sometimes my brain just reads what it wants to read. The rain that was drenching the streets had stopped, and the droplets of water on the windows began to thin. After Mr. Rindo was carried up to one of the empty rooms on the second floor, Il began to use his powers to heal him. Although he lost a lot of blood, his wounds, fortunately, weren't as deep as I thought. I'm sure he's resting soundly in his bed right now. Meanwhile, as Karia sat there quietly in the store, do you want something to drink? You didn't get to finish your drink the last time you were here, after all. You're not afraid? Huh? Being here with me? This doesn't scare you? What I did just a little while ago, I know you saw it too. Karia was shaking as he asked me that. He was terrified at the answer he thought I was going to give him. Before I answer that, I'd like to ask you to do something. What is it? Try drinking my coffee. I poured coffee, extracted from dark roast beans, into a glass with ice in it. I made sure to be quick, as the flavor would dissipate if it cooled too slowly. It needed to be on the thick side, too, otherwise the flavors would get dull. Here you go. I handed the iced coffee to Karia, who looks at me with a suspicious face. It just looks like a regular coffee. Just try a sip. I watch quietly as the young boy hesitantly brings the cup to his mouth. How does it taste? Average. Here I was hoping you'd love it. I still got a lot to learn. But this is what the Demon Lord and that guy in the armor drink, right? Thought it would taste really weird. Or some kind of weird effect to it. No, nothing like that at all. This place is it's just a regular cafe. With a look of bewilderment on his face, I smile softly and continue. Miser, Canis, Il, Ignis, and Mr. Rindo, all the coffee I serve them is from this completely ordinary human world. But everyone loves drinking it, and they all have preferences. I brought the coffee I poured to my mouth, the same beans as the one in Karia's drink. But these were a light roast and had a fairly light flavor to them. It's a pretty rough example, but I feel like the difference between humans and non-humans are like coffee beans. Roast, water temperature, brewing method. The taste can change depending on all that, but the beans all come from the same place. You know, unless you get beans from a different place than them. But you get what I'm saying. Is that your roundabout way of cheering me up and saying I'm human too? No. I tilt my head to the side and speak again. You're a non-human. Regardless of who you are mentally. Physically, there's no denying it. But you know, in terms of being a guest here, drinking coffee, to me, Mr. Rindo's the same as everyone else. I waved my hand, though, gesturing that I know I can't explain it very well. If you'll drink my coffee happily, it doesn't really matter who you are. It just makes me happy that you're here. So, Karia Abe, personal guest of my shop, I want to say, thanks for drinking my coffee. I'd love it if you came to visit again. Mr. Rindo said so too, remember? Believe in yourself, like your parents do. You can be confident that I'm here to help. As the owner of Enchante, you'll always be treated as a guest of this house. Regardless of how you see yourself or what path you choose. Enchante will always welcome you to come and drink a cup of coffee. We are like so fucking good at this. Like, this little speech is like, oh, so moving. It's good. Bravo. You're crazy, comparing non-humans with coffee. And here's this bitter pill. I guess I've gotten used to them. After a short silence, but in the end, I only have one choice left to me. Karya looked down. He managed to squeeze out the words that were as bitter to him as the coffee he tried. I've been hiding it from my parents. But now, it's getting hard for me to breathe, even after just being outside for a bit. It hurts. And I can't think, then suddenly, my powers will start acting up. If this keeps up, I might end up killing someone else, and they'll get hurt like Rindo. Hey, you can't just kill me off like that. Seriously, we haven't dated him in his route yet. You can't kill him off on the main route. A voice cuts Karya off. Surprised, I looked toward the sound, and there stood Mr. Rindo, wearing his signature smile. And this old man's still got a lot of things keeping him here in this world. I won't die off that easily. Again, we haven't dated him yet, so of course he's got a reason to stay. Oh yeah, I haven't seen the last episode of that show with the tigers and that king guy or whatever. Mr. Rindo, you should still be resting. No worries there. Ill's healing, despite him not paying much attention to it. Ill's healing, despite him not paying much attention to it, managed to fix up my wounds. Ill's got like one hand on his fucking switch and like the other hand, he's like, yeah, no, I'm healing him. Oh my god, this is so cute! Like, Rindo's like, I'm gonna die, I'm bleeding out here while you're playing your game. Winking at me, he sits down next to Karya. Karya's shoulders seem to flinch. I'm sorry. Because of me, you... Didn't you hear what I just said? My wounds are fine. No foul. Yep, and just a scratch. Definitely nothing I need to go report to the GPM. Understanding what Mr. Rindo meant, Karya's eyes open wide. Mr. Rindo responds in turn. So, Karya, what do you want to do? What do you mean? Wait a minute. You can't say you only have one choice. I told you, didn't I? To believe in yourself? To support the people you believe in? And that's a job for adults like me. And the owner here and the regulars, too. And they'll all be here for you. Even with all that, are you too afraid to say what you want? Karya squeezes his hand into a fist, and then... I don't want to be away from my parents. I want to be with them. I don't want to die. But I'm more scared of hurting Mom and Dad with this power. I can't choose either one. I know it's not a straight answer, but that's what I choose. With a wavering voice, without enveloping himself in ice, finally, as a normal middle school boy, he let out his true feelings. So that's your answer, huh? In that case, I should uphold my promise to support the path that you choose. Huh? Your body is non-human, but you're as human as they come. Like Miser said, you're half and half. It's a very rare situation, however, this place, Enchante, is half and half. It's just like you. What do you mean? Mr. Rindo glances at me and I nod. Karya, I was talking with Mr. Rindo in the room earlier, but do you want to help out here at the cafe? What? You're gonna hire a kid? That's child labor! I used this opportunity when everyone was here handling cleanup from the incident and nursing Mr. Rindo's wounds to discuss the matter. I see. By working at Enchante, he can also make regular visits to the fairy world. Not only that, according to Mikado, coming in contact with the fairy world could slowly improve Karya's condition. It may take time, but if all goes well, he might be able to actually go to school at some point. Huh. However, it doesn't address the core issue, does it? If he's away from Enchante for an extended time, won't his life be back in danger? That would not be much different than postponing the need for a final resolution. However... Yeah, I'm suggesting this because of what Karya decided just now. I just want to prioritize what he wants. And that's alright. He has every right to have a postponement. Of course, he'll eventually have to decide on a path where he can live on his own. It'll be another big decision to make. With a gesture from Mr. Rindo, Karya agrees with a nod. Karya Abe has a human mind due to changeling. Wow. A young man raised with the body of a fairy. At Rindo's persuasion, to determine his own future, he came to Enchante as temporary help. Well, just so I have a preference for things like how to see myself, how to live as a non-human, and my powers. I'd like to see what life is like here at Enchante, and learn from it. That's not bad. And there's probably no place more perfect than this for being close to other non-humans. Ignis, are you okay with this? Why are you asking me for permission? I mean, I was surprised. But you call the shots now. It's your show. Do what you want. Whatever. Ignis waved my question away, but seemed to be in agreement, along with everyone else. Thank you. Come on, Karya. Let's greet everyone. You'll be a member of Enchante now, so proper introductions are in order, alright? Alright. I'm Karya Abe, 14 years old and in middle school. About non-humans. I still don't really know much about them, but it's nice to meet you all. Yep, nice to meet you too. I'm the Demon Lord Miser. Feel free to ask anything you want. I am from Adio, a headless knight some know as a Dullahan, and my name is Canis Espada. Dullahan? Headless? Whoa! You don't have a head? He's standing right in front of you with that head. Wait, you just now noticed that? Well, he had a head when we were in Medio, and he had armor on. Oh, that's right. Well, you get used to it. I just kind of got used to it too. Can you really get used to that? Didn't we say the same damn thing to ourselves? Once Karya's introductions and greetings were over, it looks over to Mr. Rindo. Still, you really did push yourself, Rindo. Your wounds are still healing, yes? What? Is that true? Yes, I'm still not great at healing magic. My powers are as good as basic first aid. Didn't Mr. Rindo say that his wounds had closed up? I glance over at Mr. Rindo, who smiled to dismiss the matter. Slowly bleeding to death internally. You know, we train for this sort of thing. And thanks also to our owner cheering me on. I felt her love and I'm totally better now. Really? Miser's eyebrow peaked and slowly began to stand up. And with casual movements, he gets behind Mr. Rindo and... Poke. Take that. He gently pokes at his ribs with his finger. Mr. Rindo, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. Miser, I'm gonna get you back for that. Sorry, I just had to. I accept your offer as soon as you're healed. He's like, I'm perfectly fine. He's like, poke. Ah! And so he was just enduring the pain. You were sweating quite profusely. Hey, Spacey, get the old geezer to bed before his half-dead ass is, like, full dead. Right. Hey, let me help too. No, leave this matter to her, Karya. I'd like you to sit and talk with us non-humans for a while. So we have our touching moment. Step by step, trying to reduce the impact on his body from each step, we carefully go up the stairs. I put Mr. Rindo's arm over my shoulders and support him as best I can. We're gonna have our touching... Yep, I was saying we're gonna have our touching moment, although we have no eyes. Oh. I knew it. You were pushing yourself, huh? I sigh at Mr. Rindo, trying to laugh off the matter. He must have been enduring intense pain that whole time we were talking to Karya. How many times do I have to tell you? You should have said something. It'd be a cute CG, except for we have no eyes. But, you know, hey, it's just him, so that's fine. You could have at least given me a little alert that you were planning on working yourself hard enough to go get injured. And didn't think I'd get lectured by you after lecturing Karya. You probably won't respect me anymore, huh? Mr. Rindo murmurs jokingly, but I suppose I should be relieved enough that he's still able to joke around at all. This definitely was his chapter. As I felt some relief within myself. Spacey. Yes? About Karya. And do you think he's going to be okay? I'm not sure. That's up to Karya now. But at the very least, I think he found the courage to honestly look at himself thanks to you. Rindo's shouting in that moment. He reached him when no one else could. I see. I just hope this wasn't all out of some kind of need I had. Huh? Without knowing anything about them, he set foot in an alternate world. I've thought about how that could really mess with his mind and his life. I just think about how I'd regret it if I didn't stop him back then. That was the one thing I didn't want. I'm just a terrible old nut, only concerned with himself in the end. Mr. Rindo seemed somewhat lonely, mumbling with and chastising himself. Mr. Rindo, did something ever happen in the past between you and non-humans? What makes you think that? I just had a feeling. You didn't seem worried about the future. As much as you were feeling regret, that's how I heard it anyway. Adding that I wouldn't pry any further, Mr. Rindo thanks me and smiles. Oh, interesting. We get to know his past later. I do have regrets. And toward myself, who walked through this world without any cares at all. Oh, don't worry though. I do think non-humans can be dangerous, but it's not like I hate them or anything. It's just... sometimes I can't help but think that I could be on a different path right now. After talking the way I did earlier, I'm not even sure about the path I chose for myself. So, considering he still has a choice, I don't want Karya to have those kinds of regrets. Interesting. After murmuring his explanation, Kaoru Rindo too, when it comes to non-humans, he gives unsparing warnings to help put his mind at rest, but it seems this attitude has come from past regrets. He promises to rest and lay on the bed in the guest room for the day. The tumultuous events surrounding the newest face at Enchante quietly came to an end. Lovely. Ah, is this where we go to see Ignis's world? Because it's like Ignis on the cover of the chapter? I feel like that's how it's working. Because Rindo is on the cover of chapter 5, so. I'm assuming we're supposed to be Ignis because it kind of showed him on the thing, and then like, I'm wondering now, like, does the color on the Enchante thing on the, like, it's on the left on this one, but is that? I'm wondering if, you know what I mean? Because it showed him, and it did that when it was Brindo. Well, I'm gonna read it like him because anyway, I came across it by chance. I talked to it on a whim, even. Yeah, it is. Okay. Who's in Q? Q! Q? Hey, little guy. The heck are you doing in a weird place like this? You're gonna get eaten if you just hang out down there. I kneeled down to get more level with this thing lying on the shore. Q? Huh. Never seen anything like you. Wait, are you even a demon beast? You got pretty blank look on that weirdo face of yours there. Q? Huh? Me? I'm Ignis. Wait. Curious about this weird creature. I reached out my arm, lit in flames, but... Well, I guess I just scare you by telling you who I am. How I'm thought of in this world, and how everyone reacts to me. I recall those memories and thinking what would happen here. I pulled back. And then... Oh, cute. Cute-doo-doo. That's too many, like... It's like literally just making like weird animal noises. Or human speak that he doesn't understand. I don't know. For some reason, just stared at my face with a searching look in its eyes. Q! Gah! Right into my stomach. It tackled me with precision. Did he get attacked by something cute and fluffy like a rabbit? I'm really kind of curious what attacked him. Q? Q-doo-doo-doo? Thanks for waiting. Here's the ice curry you ordered. Ice curry. Curry rice. Chilled cooking. Is that cooking? Karya? I ordered a regular curry. This shop only has ice curry. Listen, you can't go changing the menu without the owner's permission. Spacey, looks like after all that, it'll be hard for this kid to bring over hot foods. Huh? What do you mean? What? This curry's totally frozen! It was still hot when I handed it to Karya. He must have frozen it unconsciously with his ice powers. Right. My blended drink is frozen solid, too. Right. You don't deal well with hot things in general, huh? Sorry I didn't consider that. And that's okay. I'm the one who wasn't careful and thought I could handle it. Karya didn't look irritated. He seemed depressed. But it hadn't even been a week yet since he started coming here regularly, and he can't help making mistakes. After the ancestral relapse incident, he began working part-time at Enchante, considering it was in between the human and fairy worlds. Of course, it wasn't exactly within labor regulations to have him working, considering his age. So for his pay, we're providing goods that he wants, that we can get our hands on, equal to what I'd pay a normal staffer. But all I want is for him not to worry about the work so much and just enjoy his time here. Well, Karya's the one saying he wants to put an effort in real work. We should all just laugh it off and move on. Yeah, and curry can still be enjoyed plenty if it's cold anyways. Thanks. It might take a little, but I'll do my best. Oh, come to think of it, Karya, you've been going to Medio every day since you started working, right? For a little bit of time at least? I know it's new territory. Let me know if you ever need help, okay? Karya's eyes look my way as he responds. No, I'm okay. Whenever I go to Medio, that person who's always really rude helps me out with everything. The rude one? He must be talking about Venia. Now it's Venia again. Look. Venia, Veneer, they changed their names like they just changed their gender identity. Okay? So, some days they're Venia, some days they're Veneer, some days they're a little more masculine, some days they're more feminine, like whatever. They're just as fluid in their name as they are with everything else, I guess. I don't know. Like, the game really needs to stop making the time like that. You need to figure it out. Pick a name and stick to it, because also calling us Kotone every once in a while is kind of baffling too. Although, I'm sure it'll be fine if we leave Karya to them. Kid, it's not just your physical state that she's worried about. Whether or not you're questioning yourself after seeing the fairies and their values, and that's what she's concerned by. As of now, your only objective in going to Medio is to breathe the air. Someday, however, you'll understand your own way of life after interacting with these fairies who are closely related to you. Karya, I can't tell you what's best for you, but don't forget that ultimately you're the only one who can decide how you want to live your life. Yeah, I know that. I decided to accept all that. You don't have to worry about it. Alright then, if there's anything about Medio or anything else that's troubling you, let me know. Thanks. You can't help, but I'll let you know. Am I supposed to be happy hearing that? He's just being shy. He's a kid. As I tilted my head, questioning Karya's evaluation of me. Spacey! Spacey! Do you have some time today? I desperately require assistance. Gracefully flying down with disregard for the stairs that were clearly available was the fallen angel we hadn't seen in a while. Whoa! It scared me. Oh, that's right. You haven't seen Il flying, huh? Il, try not to fly too much when we have guests here. See, your feathers fly everywhere and get in the plates and cups. Oh, my apologies. How uncouth of me. So, what do you need my help for? It's unusual to see you in such a panic. Oh, yes, I understand how I seem as such to you right now, but I can't help it. So, if possible, today, I'd like you to take me here. Il moves a large tablet to his chest so that everyone could see. On the screen were colorful and fun drawings of fish and dolphins. Is this the website for the aquarium? Oh, I pass that place all the time. It's always full of people. You want to go there? Everyone looked at him, surprised. They're like, that's the date spot! He's like, bitch, I know. I play Atome games. That's the hot date spot. It's either that or the fucking amusement park. One of those is the hot date action. Now we're getting married. I'm sure Il would gladly agree to go with us if we were all heading somewhere, but actually, he wouldn't normally want to go anywhere that isn't related to an Atome game. Right. Hello, he knows. The aquarium is prime date spot. Again, also the amusement park. That's how it works in games. An aquarium. I only know them by name, as I have never been to one before. An establishment which displays aquatic life of the human world publicly for all to see. You like aquariums now, Il? Why's that?
Oh, miser. Simple, simple miser. And this is what they call a journey through a holy site.
Pilgrimage, a type of fan activity where one visits the settings of various anime or games. Well, the term originates from religious journeys. This has no relation to them. When Il says it, however, it seems to take on a different meaning.
I've just learned that this aquarium was used as a model for a date spot in a particular Otome game.
I told you. Prime date spot! Okay, he's thinking specific to an Otome game, but also we're in an Otome game and he plays and we're going to a Otome date spot. I'm just saying.
As a fan of the work, I must go. In this space that the characters actually stood in must be burned into my eyes.
I see. Okay. Everyone is like, he's fucking nuts. And he hears me playing this like, no, but I like this idea. That's great. You'd be like, oh my god, it's exactly what it looks like. Oh, knew it. And that's why, huh? It was very kind of Canis to nod in support without knowing what was going on at all. But why today? The request is a little last minute.
Well, this aquarium will be closed for construction starting tomorrow. There would be no point in going if the appearance of this holy site changes, so I just have to go before then.
I see. Hey, why does the owner have to go with you? If you really want to go by yourself.
You're quite right, yet Miser would not let me go out on my own.
Huh? I only came to know this recently too, but it seems like Il's generally not allowed to be out on his own. Miser looked into the distance, nodding. He's like, we can't trust him out on his own. He's incapable. Yeah, Il's, how do I put it? Not too savvy with the day-to-day stuff out in the world. It would be dangerous. And there was one time where he snuck out on his own and didn't come back for a week. I was so nervous I actually got cold. Ultimately, he was mistaken as the child of a wealthy family from a foreign land and was found right before being kidnapped. Oh my fucking god. He's a fucking train wreck. I love it. This fucking dopey fucking angel, Jesus. Huh? What could have possibly happened for him to get into a situation like that? I was also really curious about that, but I'll save that question for later. Right now, a trip to the aquarium right now, huh? I'd like to fulfill Il's request if I can, but we're in the middle of business hours. Even if they're just the usual faces, I still have my guests to wait on. As if seeing how I was pondering over the matter, Mr. Rindo waves his hand over his cooled cafe au lait. I don't mind. If we go, I'd like us all to go together. I haven't been to an aquarium in years. Oh my god, I'm going on a date with all my boyfriends. I shall accompany you as well. These places do not exist in Medea, and Titania would be pleased if I could share with her about it. I see, then... Yeah, if this many of us are together, I should probably come along too. I'll pass on that and stay here. I just went to an aquarium on a field trip the other day. And it isn't a bad idea if we all leave. I'll just stay put and read some manga. Okay, is that alright with you then? You can let me know if anything happens. I was gonna say, oh look, it's a date spot! And now we're dragging the kid along. Look, kid, sometimes mommy and the daddies want to go on a date alone together, okay? Except for Ignis. I immediately go up to my room and finish getting ready to go out. And after turning over the plate to signal we were closed for break, we leave Enchante. Just me and my boyfriends, but not Ignis, apparently. Following my map app, we all walked along the road together toward the aquarium. Oh, my love for the game will be even closer to me when I take pictures of myself there. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm already struggling to hold the excitement within me. Look at his tears. It's kind of nice to see Il look so excited, isn't it? Ill's usually like this when it comes to Otome games, though. It must have been weirder for them to record lines making fun of a character for liking Otome games when they were recording lines for an Otome game. All I'm saying is like, well, I guess it's way better than having no interest at all in the outside world. Indeed, though we are non-humans, we still need a decent amount of exercise. I believe walks like these are a great idea. Spacey, what's wrong? Oh, it's nothing. Looking from the outside, our group really stands out. But with Miser's tricks, we've been able to get by without attracting any unwanted attention. Okay, like, Rindo looks fine. And like, I mean, sorta Ill can kind of pass. Canis can never fucking pass. But like, what's Miser's fucking excuse? Why is he not dressed like his human self? Why is he totally just like this? Like, you could have at least put on your human disguise. All I'm saying. But, was this alright? We all went without letting Ignis know. Right. It was on my mind as we walked. I was hesitant to leave Ignis, who returned to Bestia just yesterday at noon, out of it. Well, we can't help that. All of us have our own lives, or rather, our own worlds to attend to. And we can't help that everyone can't do everything together all the time. Right, and I'm not certain Ignis would be very interested in aquariums anyway. In Ignis's case, he'd be more interested in a sushi restaurant, I'm sure. You're right. I can already hear him whining about lunch. Yeah, at the very least, we should get him a little souvenir on the way out. Could you imagine? You just like go to the like. It's always weird because there's a lot of seafood aquariums are usually on the water. Like, especially if they have dolphin shows or anything like that. It's like, hey, here, it's on the dock, whatever. Which is where a lot of the seafood restaurants are, you know? And then you're like, it's just weird that you're like, oh, right next door is a seafood restaurant. Oh, that's where Flipper went when he died. He's getting old. Send him over. Ah! It's like, it's so bizarre. It really is. Because you're like, oh, aquariums are nice. And then we go have seafood for dinner. Wait, what? It's like we went to the farm and we were like petting all the cows and shit, and then we went and got burgers afterward. Like, look, I still eat meat, but it's still weird. I'm not gonna go pet the cow. Oh, look, we went to the farm and we learned how to milk cows and we did all this farming field trip, and then I go eat. Like, it's gonna be weird when you eat dinner later, is all I'm saying. Like, I'm just gonna have something veggie. It's weird. Like, that's when you eat the fish, not after you go to the aquarium. After you go to the aquarium, you go eat burgers. I'm just saying. Just to keep things separate. Compartmentalize a little. Anyway. I just hope there's something he'd like.
Spacey, when we get to the aquarium, let's go through the underwater tunnel first. The characters were there looking at fish with such excitement. I want to experience that same sight.
Your eyes are practically sparkling. Guess it was worth it bringing you here. I agree.
Oh, and if we can recreate the Kabedon CG event there.
I wonder who he's thinking of having recreate that Kabedon. We continued walking, and eventually the voice from the map app announced that we had arrived at our destination. You should have been able to see it. The streets connecting to the aquarium were lined with cars. I'm sure plenty of these people wanted to enjoy the aquarium in its untampered state before it closed for construction. Oh, we made the right choice in walking. Who knows how long we would have waited just to find a parking spot. Also, we wouldn't have all fit in your sports car, buddy. Yeah, huh. So it looks like the entrance is just straight ahead. Here, a scream followed by crashing metal. All of us looked to see what had happened. We're not going to get to go to the aquarium. I really wanted to go. Stupid girl getting hit by a car. With the commotion, along the line of various colors of cars that led to the aquarium, some of them were flung high up in the air. What? What? I let out a scream as car after car flew into the air, falling to the ground. Their frames twisted. It was an incredible sight, and with the impact still sending shocks through my body, I almost couldn't believe it. So what you're saying is we don't get to enjoy a little date at the aquarium and see the sights that Il wanted to see. I'm just disappointed by that. You ripped it. That's just rude. Game rude. What's happening? Was there an accident? Or is this an earthquake? Does the earth feel like it's moving?
And nothing like that. Look,
That's what's happening. See? Miser points back towards the road that lead to the aquarium. Car after car continue to go flying, leaving the street strangely bare. And in the center of it all... Demon bull. Growl. You heard the growl. I didn't have to do it. It was voice acted. There was a giant bull-like monster the size of an SUV. Il had never seen or heard of a giant bull like this. From what I could see, unlike normal bulls, what was on its 4 feet was an abnormal amount of muscle growing around them. It was... a demon beast from Beastia? No way. How'd a big one like that get in a place like this? What? A demon beast? That's what that is? For a moment, I couldn't really swallow what Mr. Rindo said. After all, not only by its appearance, but it just feels so different from Ignis. He's definitely a special one, and that's saying something because most beasts from there are pretty wild. I didn't know... It seems very excited, very angry. Hardly seems like an intelligent creature. I noticed that, despite the chaos, most of the people around have taken cover, with only a few people still in the vicinity.
I detect hostility.
Okay, Il, you don't have to be a fallen angel to figure that out. That thing sounds pissed.
That demon beast has just made us its target, it seems.
It must have sniffed out our powers, and that should be expected, all of us together.
What?
With a grunt, the demon beast's eyes glare at us with even more ferocity. It's at least making noise on its own. With incredible speed, it charges right for us. Canis, can we let you handle this? Understood. And the instant he responded, Canis flies forward with a speed unbefitting of his size. And right after grabs the horns of the charging demon beast, stopping it. He gave it a wild swing, throwing it out into the empty street. The demon beast quickly got back up, and Canis runs at it once again. Interesting. We get to see our boyfriend in action. One of them, but he's our first boyfriend, so... The charging beast was stopped once more and thrown back to the ground. Miser and Il simply looked on with completely relaxed composures. And this is Rindo from Intelligence. I need a cleaner squad down at my location immediately. I'll give you details later. Just hurry. Mr. Rindo, treating it like an emergency, was in a panic, contacting all sorts of groups from within the GPM. Fighting bulls on TV couldn't compare at all. My mouth was agape, staring at the scene of the area getting wrecked with each crash from Canis tossing the beast. Should we help him? Oh, he's just fine. It'll be over soon. Huh? Miser's like, no, he's fine. He's like, sweetie, how do you think I got to be the demon lord? I don't do this shit. I have people do it for me. It must have spent its last bit of strength. The demon beast that was battered over and over got up on trembling feet. As it glared at Canis. There we go! A ball of fire came down from above. It struck the bull's head with great force. Unable to even let out a groan, its head practically dug into the concrete on impact. The one that subdued the demon beast from above swiftly fell to the ground. It's Ignis, obviously. What? The hell? You were the one dealing with this? I didn't even have to come over here? Ignis! Afterwards, we handed over the demon beast on the ground to the GPM agents Mr. Rindo called in. Right after they left, several police cars and ambulances came. It really was a miracle. Even the police in the cars getting tossed around didn't seem to sustain any... Oh, even the people in the cars. Did I say the police? Yeah. Even the people in the cars getting tossed around didn't seem to sustain any serious injuries. Able to avoid police questioning, I hid alongside the road and watched as the aftermath unfolded. Mr. Rindo was also running this way and that with GPM agents taking care of the cleanup. Ignis, why are you here? Huh? No reason. Just came to kill some time, since all you left me behind. Well, we had quite the incident, but it seems like it's all resolved now. How about we head to the aquarium and... You said the aquarium's closed for the day. Well, with all those people running around outside, it was bound to happen. What did happen anyway? The streets and cars were a mess. Who knows? Someone said something about a bull. Probably escaped from the aquarium. What the fuck has bulls in an aquarium, you dumbass? No way! Bulls are land animals! Why would an aquarium have one anyway? Kid B is obviously fucking a dumbass. Responding to the conversation of the boys that passed by, witnesses to the incident. Elle's face. Closed? No! But what of my holy journey? It seems like it's not happening. Il crumples and his knees fall to the ground. The hell's wrong with Il? Ignis, unknowing of our situation, raised his brow in confusion. Just like those boys had said, there was no way we'd be getting into any businesses after all of that. Leaving Mr. Rindo still busy dealing with the aftermath, we returned to Enchante, all the while consoling Il. I know we were supposed to see the aquarium, but who could have predicted that, huh? For now, I'll pour you some nice tea or juice. Take a rest, okay? Thank you for your concern. I could see Il had no energy in him at all. Hey there, Il. I'll treat you to some sweets, too. You can go play some games after. Though its appearance may change, we can all go together to the aquarium at another opportunity. Okay. God, y'all keep pampering the shut-in. Well, it's devastating. I wanted to see it. It's not going to look the same. Oh. Right as I put my hand on the doorknob, Ignis suddenly spoke again. I forgot to mention, I brought a gift from Bestia. A gift? It wasn't an angry bull, was it? What? The head of one of your enemies? Shut up! I didn't bring anything like that! Well, you'll know when you see it. It's that cute thing that attacked him, isn't it? It's gonna be some kind of adorable, fluffy, weird animal thing. I felt confused as Ignis kept mumbling his words and entered through the door. Hey, we're back! Akaria, thanks for Ah! Stop! Don't follow me! What the hell are you? Akaria was running all around Enchante, and as if it was chasing after him, there was a small white object rolling around on the floor. It's like a fluffy ball, isn't it? What's going on? And Kari is being chased by something, maybe. Is that a white ball? No. God, look at it closely. That's my gift. What? As if responding to Ignis's voice, the ball suddenly comes to a stop. Please, I need a CG. I need to see what this fucking thing looks like. Pew! It bounced up off the floor right where it stood and did a full spin over itself, gracefully landing on top of a table. The gift that Ignis brought us. Oh my god, it's like a little fucking seal! It's a narseal. Can't be a narwhal, it's a narseal. Look, it's got a little horn. It's a uniseal. It's so fucking cute. Oh my god! It doesn't belong here, it belongs in the snow! What did you do? Look straight into my eyes. What is that? I told you it's my gift. I'm giving it to you. This kind of thing's trendy now, right? A poster pet at stores that helps bring in the customers. Yeah, but this isn't like a cat or a dog. It's a fucking seal. The hell is going on? Right when I got in, Ignis shoved this thing on me and left. It's your own fault, crying about being bored and everything right when I got in. And about that thing, though it might not look it, it's a proper demon beast from Bestia. The small demon beast squeaks in agreement upon my lap. It's so fucking cute. Ignis brought us a fucking seal. Well, I mean, it's better than a raging bull, but okay. As it does, it looks up at me with its big round eyes. This thing is too cute! Well, at least its looks are. I thought it was a giant rice cake when we got in. Mr. Rindo seems to have taken care of most of the cleanup. He had a look of surprise as he caught up with us after entering the cafe. He rolls in, what the fuck is that? It's my gift, God! Look. It is quite friendly, though, and adorable. Very soft to the touch, too.
Yes, it is. I almost want to put it up on the shelves with my other plushies.
Right. This little gift was even cute enough to cheer up ill after the aquarium shock.
You know, Ignis, that's pretty adorable of you to protect an orphan demon beast like this.
It's like you're the punk at school who actually has a heart of gold and adopts little puppies. You know, like from a manga. Shut up! That's not what I'm doing! Just started following me around. Every time I went anywhere while I was in Beastia, there it was. I just had to... It followed you?
Do you mean to say it was able to keep up with how fast you are? And that's quite difficult to imagine.
Yeah, well, it moves by swimming through the oceans. They're not called sea beasts for nothing. They're insanely fast. Can't exactly shake it off. Huh. A sea beast. This thing? They're the only creatures that live in oceans of Beastia, right?
Pakus. Pakus? Oh, sounds so cute. Paku!
A race of demon beasts inhabiting Beastia. They look much like seals and live in the sea. I mean, yeah, it was... I think it was like a sea beast, and then it calls it a paku, and you're like, what? And the GBM knows about them, huh? Surprised you guys do any work other than eating jelly donuts all day. Oh, really? Looking at Rindo's reaction, this little guy's pretty rare, huh? Well, they practically live their entire lives down in the ocean. You don't see them often. Seeing one's great luck. Actually, I didn't even know what this thing was at first. Ignis continues to tell his story. So, I'm sure it's just some newborn that was separated from its pack. It's annoying how clingy it is, so what I really wanted was to get it home, but... I see. I understand the situation. As they are a species that lives underwater, it would be difficult to find its family.
And after giving up the search, rather than leaving it alone, you brought it to Enchante. Is that correct?
He does have a heart of gold! He's so cute! It's like, I didn't want it to get, lost. Ignis nods in agreement. He is so cute! Aww. You just want to rub his head. Good boy. Scratch him behind the ears. Wait, no. Even so, I think there's a problem with having a mascot seal, don't you? Yeah. Maybe it'd be better if we decided after trying to look for its parents a little more. I'm sure they're worried. If they're alive. Ignis? No, it's nothing. Ignis, irritated, looks away from me. He seems in a bad mood all of a sudden, but I hope I didn't do anything to upset him. He's like, he just doesn't want to get rid of it, he loves it. Oh, the answer's easy then. If that's the case, let's just find its parents, yes? Huh? Oh, cute! Child of the sea beast. Instead of just, can we name the damn thing? Woo! We're gonna go! Okay. Anyway, I am going to stop here because we're a little over time and it seems good enough. And then we'll just continue. And maybe we get to go to Beastia. I don't know, but we're dealing with Beastia stuff right here anyway. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.